No, I'm saying, okay.
Good morning. My name is Kinley Ryder. On behalf of our students, staff, faculty, and everyone here at Bixby Public Schools, we welcome you to the 2025 Veterans Day Assembly.
Good morning. My name is Landon Udkoff. Thank you for being here today. Kinley and I will be your hosts today as we salute and honor you, America's veterans. Will you please stand as our junior ROTC presents the colors? Peyton Harder will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Please remain standing as Miss Finley sings our national anthem.
Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets with the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated.
Veterans Day is observed annually on November 11th, a date originally designated as Armistice Day to commemorate the end of World War I. However, However, it became clear that the holiday scope needed to be broadened to honor all of those who have worn uniform. In 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower issued a proclamation officially renaming it Veterans Day. The purpose, according to Eisenhower, was to dedicate this day not to just one war, but honoring the entire body of American veterans. To honor those who have demonstrated profound patriotism, a deep love of country, and an unwavering willingness to serve in defense of liberty and peace around the globe. He stated, "Now therefore I, Dwight D. Eisenhower, President of the United States of America, do hereby call upon all of our citizens to observe Thursday, November 11, 1954, as Veterans Day. On that day, he let us solemnly remember the sacrifices of all of those who have fought so valiantly on seas, in the air, on foreign shores, and to preserve our heritage of freedom."
As Eisenhower proclaimed, we are here to recognize and celebrate you, our nation's veterans. We will now read the names of each of you joining us today. If you are able, please stand to be recognized. Ava Woodard and Peyton will now come to the podium for the introductions of our veterans.
Thank you, Landon. Please hold your applause till the end. Chief Warrant Officer William Tinman. Specialist 4th Class Philip Conley. E5 Jay McFarland. Sergeant Lauren Gerber. Master Sergeant Adrian Reynolds. Technical Sergeant Braden Reynolds. Lieutenant Colonel Craig Bryant. Technical Sergeant David Gregory Marler. Common Sergeant Major Charles Sheets. Commander Rob Radford. Private First Class Kenneth Bryant. E5 Jason Moore. Senior Airman Pablo Edgar. Major Stephen Gross. Sergeant Joshua Sheridan. E4 Dean Evans. Senior Airman Joe Marino. Carl Rich Schneider, Navy.
Lance Corporal Robin Hansen. First Lieutenant Randy Beecham. Specialist Rajay Faitha. Senior Airman Alan Green. Sergeant Wayne Lehman. Petty Officer 3rd Class Floyd McCombs. Specialist Dale Davenport. Specialist Jim Royal. Sergeant Jim Welch. Seaman Tom Elms. Master Sergeant Roger Reilly. Master Sergeant Justin Ball. Staff Sergeant Jared Ball. Bowman Preston Smith. Sergeant Dennis Boyer. Staff Sergeant David Martinez. Major Justin Beaumont. Petty Officer 2nd Class Moyer King.
Electronics Tech First Class Mike Piper. Specialist James Neiman. Specialist Thad Fuller. Sergeant Anthony Hummel. E5 Bradley Alshin. Corporal Jerry Bean. Staff Sergeant Kevin Schmidt. Chief Master Sergeant Billy Cornelius. E4 Jeremiah Bridges. E4 Britton Caldwell. Specialist Dwight Nicely. Captain Adam Sizzle. Captain Chris Landis. E4 Jonathan Stankovic. Specialist Bill McAllister. Specialist Brian Ryan. Petty Officer Charles Lorton. Technical Sergeant Adria Brackett. Hospital Corpsman 2nd Class Laura Thorne.
E3 Brian Barrett. Lance Corporal Sam Brackett. E4 Carl Walter. E5 John Henwick. Technical Sergeant Jessica Wahlberg. Chief Petty Officer Aldrich Adams. Sergeant Richard Kimmel. First Lieutenant Matt Scarfer. Sergeant Robert Reading. Petty Officer Brian Chestnut. Sergeant Lester Taylor. Staff Sergeant Randy Jackals. AMT 3rd Class Chris McDonald. Petty Officer George Patterson, Colonel Dale Ellis, Sergeant Joshua Addison, Sergeant Tom Mellon, Airman First Class Chad Vernal, Sergeant Leonardo Cornelius, Sergeant Robert Archer, Sergeant Jeremy Beckett.
Please stand and give a round of applause for our veterans.
You may now be seated. Our 8th grade band, under the direction of Mr. Chris Wallman, will now perform The Message on the Rock.
We can find in our strength without boasting of it, we respect that of others without fearing it. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival and success of freedom. We will not waver, we will not tire, we will not falter, and we will not fail. Peace and freedom will prevail. All gave some gave all.
The advanced drama class, under the direction of Miss Tony Ross, will now perform The Wall.
The Vietnam Veterans Memorial honors the men and women of the armed forces of the United States who served in the Vietnam War. On it are listed the names of those who gave their lives and those missing in action. The memorial is located in Washington, D.C. On the long black wall are more than 58,000 names. The Wall by Eve Bunting. This is the wall, my grandfather's wall. On it are the names of those killed in a war long ago. Where is Grandpa's name, I ask. We have to find it, Dad says. He and I have come a long way for this, and we walk slowly, searching. The wall is black and shiny as a mirror. In it, I can see Dad and me. I can see the bare trees behind us and the dark, flying clouds. A man in a wheelchair stares at the names. I'm looking, and he sees me looking and smiles. Hi, son. Hi. His hat is a soft, squashed green, and there are medals on it. His shirt is a soldier's shirt. A woman, old as my grandma, is hugging a man, old as my grandpa would be. They are both crying. Shh, he whispers. Shh. Flowers and other things have been laid against the wall. There are little flags, an old teddy bear, and letters, weighted with stones so they won't blow away. Someone has left a rose for the droopy head. Have you found Grandpa yet? I ask. No, Dad says. There are so many names. They are listed under the years when they were killed. I found 1967. That's when my grandpa died. Dad runs his fingers along the rows of print, and I do too. The letters march side by side, like rows of soldiers. They're nice and even. It's better printing than I can do. The wall is warm. Dad is searching and searching. Albert A. Jensen, Charles Bronowski, George Muniz, he mutters. His fingers stop moving. Here he is. My grandpa? I ask. Dad nods. Your grandpa. His voice blurs. My dad. He was just my age when he was killed. Dad's rubbing the name, rubbing and rubbing as if he wants to wipe it away. Maybe he just wants to remember the way it feels. We've brought paper. Dad puts it over the letters and rubs on it with a pencil so the paper goes dark and the letters show up white. You've got parts of the other guys' names on there too, I tell him. Dad looks at the paper. Your grandpa won't mind. They were probably friends of his anyway, I say. Dad nods. Maybe so. A man and a boy walk past. Can we go to the river now, Grandpa? The boy asks. Yes, but button your jacket. It's cold. My dad stands very still with his head bent. A bunch of big girls in school uniforms come down the path. Their teachers with them. They are all carrying more of those little flags. Is this the wall for the dead soldiers, Miss Grover? One of them asks in a loud voice. The names are the names of the dead, but the wall is for all of us, the teacher says. They make a lot of noise and ask a lot of questions, and all the time, Dad just stands there with his head bowed, and I stand beside him. The girls stick their flags in the dirt in front again. Dad folds the paper that has Grandpa's name on it and puts it in his wallet. He slides out a picture of me, one of the yucky ones they took in school. Mom made me wear a tie. Dad puts the picture on the grass below Grandpa's name. It blows away. I get it and put it back and pile some little stones on top. My face smiles up at me from under the stones. Grandpa won't know who I am, I tell Dad. I think he will, Dad says. I move closer to him. It's sad here. He puts his hand on my shoulder. I know, but it's a place of honor. I'm proud that your grandfather's name is on this wall. I am too. I am. But I'd rather have my grandpa here, taking me to the river, telling me to button my jacket because it's cold. I'd rather have him here.
Bixby Middle School holds a poetry contest every year. Students are encouraged to pay tribute to all of our veterans who have served our country. The top 3 poems will be read today. In 3rd place, Jordan McFarland, whose poem will be read by Bella Felicia and Gavin.
Freedom Blooms by Jordan McFarland. They rose with dawn, boots laced tight, to chase the dark and shield the light. Through desert winds and ocean spray, they held the line, come what may. No trumpet called, no crowd was near, just duty's voice, both firm and clear. They walked through fear, through loss, through fire, fueled by hope and deep desire. Their sacrifice, a silent thread, woven through the lives we've led. Each flag that flies, each child at play, echoes of thanks we cannot repay. So on this day, we bow our heads for all they've done and tears they've shed. Our freedom blooms where courage bled.
In 2nd place, Lily Boykin, whose poem will be read by Benny Mason and Sophia Ralford.
Promised Land by Lily Boykin. The porchlight flickers on the veteran's face, a road map drawn in sun and shadow deep. He sits in a quiet, a familiar place, while distant drums beat in his restless sleep. He doesn't speak of storms he overcame, of battles fought on sand and shifting seas. Instead, he listens for a different name, whispered softly on the evening breeze.
His hands, which once held tight a heavy weight, now hold a warm hug, so gentle, calm even. He lives inside the walls of the estate, sheltered by a quiet inner song. He carries freedom in his steady gaze, a knowing look that few can understand. He gave so much to earn his peaceful days, a hero to his great promised land.
In the 1st place, Meredith Conley, whose poem will be read by Carson Collins.
Hero in the Sky by Meredith Conley. She grew up learning what goodbyes mean. The sound of boots, the color green, a kiss on the head, a whispered word, the roar of engines, the last she heard. Her dad was somewhere past the blue, in a Viper that only heroes flew. Years of takeoffs, soft goodbyes, letters sent across the skies. Now 12 years old, she understands why jets must leave familiar lands. The sacrifice is what keeps us free, but how I wish Dad was home for me. The wheels touched down, the engine sighed, tears fell fast and she couldn't hide. He knelt to hug her safe at last, a year apart had come and passed.
And finally, the Bixby Middle School Choir will sing Salute to the Armed Forces. Veterans, please stand as your branch of the military is called.
Good morning and welcome to Bixby Middle School. Hey, would you take a second and join me in a round of applause for all of our middle school performers? I am William Vernon and I serve the district as middle school principal. I'm lucky to be that. I'm proud of these kids. My goodness, what a great day. Today we gather to honor all who've served. When I reflect about the topic for this speech each year, I cannot help but be a little selfish and include 3 veterans that influenced me. I speak almost every year about my civics leadership teacher who served in the Air Force, my father-in-law who served in the Army, and my father who served in the Navy. And they do not give me enough time to tell you all the stories about growing up on Camp Lejeune, let's just say in the 70s. So where do we find the words? I'm going to lean on a simple story. I have a very special memory with my father, and I'm watching large beach landing exercises. It is the moment where I believe my dad cemented his philosophy of steadfast, constant focus to, quote, better your position. In all aspects, in all things, the effort to better your position was expected. Above and beyond the scope of the strength of that maneuver, taking the beach, I discovered during the small talk what my dad was thinking as a younger man, what his goals were, even what frightened him. You know, I believe it was in that moment, I think that I found one of the cornerstones of his service. One of the things that he says without exception was, quote, it was an honor to serve. You can fill in the blank after that with almost anything, but the same statement was constant. So honoring all that served means recognizing, respecting, and appreciating the sacrifices they've made for this community and this country. So how do we honor? I've made a short list. 1, expressing your gratitude. It can be as simple as, thank you for your service. 2, understanding. Understand their unique experience has impacted their lives as well as yours. 3, provide support. Be an advocate for veterans and support their organizations. 4, listening to their stories. Listening will foster a deeper understanding and a level of respect. 5, participate in celebration ceremonies like ours here today. Honoring veterans is a commitment. Show them they are valued, respected, and remembered for the role they played in serving our country. This is the way to ensure their gifts are never taken for granted. If you are lucky enough to have a veteran in your life, recognize their expectation of bettering your position. Honor them by respecting their requirement of you to better your position. Thank you so much for letting us honor today, on Veterans Day, you and your service to our country and our community. At this time, I am going to wrap up this ceremony. Thank you so much.